Today I'm going to be installing the GBRacing engine covers for the Ducati V4. First thing we're going to want to do is remove these lower fairings here. So to do that, you got to remove these 3 bolts. You got to remove this one in here. There's one similar on the other side. And there's one right here in the front by the radiator guard. It's right there. And there's a few underneath the bike. So like right there, and right there. Get rid of all those. So this piece came out really easy, and I mean really easy. The only thing you gotta watch out for after you remove all the screws is make sure this piece on the back here doesn't hit the rear set. If you're crazy about scratches like I am, just be very mindful of that. Maybe put some tape on it or something like that, masking tape, so in case it does slide and hit this piece right here, you're gonna be okay. Now, this is what it looks like without that one piece. I'm still gonna remove the other side real fast here, but you can see no brain surgery here, real easy stuff. Just remove the screws that I mentioned, and it really just slides right on out. Okay, the left side of the bike here, we have a little attachment. Looks to be some kind of excess PCV or, well, never mind, some kind of drain at the bottom of this thing. So just detach that. That's the only difference I saw between the two sides. That, and you kind of want to make sure you're careful with the kickstand as it's kind of moving around this. Other than that, pretty easy stuff. All right, once you remove the lowers, I would go in here, remove this bolt right there. And so we can separate this from this. And I think we'll have enough space where we can actually apply this cover on without pulling the actual fairing off. All right, after doing some checking, looks like I do have enough space to get into everything here without removing the side fairing. So at least on this side, you don't have to remove the side fairing. You have to remove this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and there's one here on the side. It kind of matches up with exactly what you get with the cover here. Makes sense, right? Now they say to take the bolts out. It has a little instruction sheet that comes with here, and then apply this piece, and then to put the bolts that they provide right there back into here with 10 Newton meters, it says. Let's see right here. Do not over tighten, obviously. Oh, sorry, 11 Newton meters as the manufacturer recommends. So it's basically the exact same as what the manufacturer recommends in this one. And it's pretty decent instructions they have here for each of the covers. The bolts are the same on both sides. You don't have to worry about getting those mixed up. Pretty easy stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts out, put the cover on, and then you guys should see it installed. All right, and this side is in. That was really easy to do. Like I said, just leave it at 11 Newton meters. You plug all the bolts, you put this cover on, put all the bolts in, just make sure every single one of them, I went back and forth a few times to make sure they were all exactly 11 Newton meters. I put the bolt back in here, now the lower's ready to go back on, and this side is done. So time to move on to the other side. All right, so we did not luck out on this side. This one, as you can see, has a side one way up in there, right there, that one. That goes way up in there. So what I have to do here is I have to pull off the whole side fairing, and I have to pull off the mid fairing just to get to that one bolt. So I'll start doing that. First things first, got to pull off this top cover here so these 4 bolts come out. All right, so that piece comes off, as I've said on past videos, a little bit of Velcro here and here, and there's a post here and here that go in. So when you pull it, just pull from the side, dink, dink, this whole thing will pull right up pretty easily. The next step is pulling off this side piece here, which is a bolt here, and then a bolt here, and there's a couple like notches that go into the red fairing from this little black piece. And you're gonna wanna kind of push it forward and pull it out. All right, this is that side piece I was talking about. Actually, it goes in this way. You see those little hooks right there and right there. It looks like I bent that hook a little bit, so I'll have to, of course, why would I want to focus on the actual thing I'm taking a video of? And there's a hook right there. So just make sure you're mindful. You just kind of slide it out and it comes out. And the next thing we're going to do after this is pull out those 2 bolts right there. There's one here, there's one on the other side. Let me see if I can move the bars here. There's one behind it back there. So focus on it, yeah. Behind it right back there. So these 2, bring them out so we can get this fairing out of here. All right, after you get those 2 out, what you're going to do here is you're going to go to the front of the bike now, and you want to pull out this bolt here from the center of the nose. If I can ever get a focus on it, I don't know why this camera can't focus on anything. Right there. And there's 2 on the inside here, one there and then one there. So let's remove both of those. All right, after you remove the bolt from the nose and the two on the inner here, this should move pretty freely once you unclip it from here. There's like little just push clips. It's not even a push clip, it just kind of pressure holds into the inner lining of the fairing here. So this is all loose now, it's ready to come out, but it won't, and there's no bolts connecting it anymore. Now, the reason why is because there is a piece in here, a post. Lift this whole fairing up, and it comes out over the post, and all these pieces here lift out. You see there's a little bit of Velcro and stuff in there. Be careful with this rubber piece right here. It just is pressure held in there, and that's all it is. And then the rest of this fairing comes out from the nose here, which I need 2 hands for, so I have to stop the video. But there's 2 little posts right there in that crease. Just be careful when you're pulling this thing out, it should pull right out. All right, now that the now that the fairing is off, now we can pull off the mid fairing. So the mid fairing is held by, there's a little screw where you're right there. So pull that out, and then there's a post here that pulls down from, and then it pulls out from here. So really just gotta pull this bolt out, and the whole thing should just kind of pull out from here. You can see there's a little post down in there, and then there's one here in the front where it just pulls out this way. All right, I managed to pull the fairing off, and it is pressure held by this line here, and there is like a little strap around it. I'm not gonna break this or not gonna break the strap and make a new one, just because I can maneuver this around and actually pull all the bolts out for the cover. So the next step then is, obviously, see the bolts that you have right here on the cover? These are the ones that come out. Pull all of those out, apply the cover, put the bolts in, hand tighten them then first, and then tighten them up like the instructions instruct you for, to 11 Newton meters with a torque wrench. All right, pretty easy. Once you get all the fairings off and everything, the cover goes right in. Again, 11 Newton meters, that's all you want to go with it. They're very specific about that. I put the mid fairing back on. I'm gonna put that bolt back in there. I'm gonna put the side fairings back on, put the lowers back on, and the job is done. So I'll give you a shot of what it looks like when it's all finished. All right, now she's all wrapped up. I got everything back together. You can see right there, I can't really get too far because my car is right next to this thing, but that's what this side looks like. Looks pretty good, I like it. I'll get a little more space on this side. And I like the way it looks. Flows the rest of the bike. Great engine protection. I never had any issues with GBRacing stuff. I also have it on my S1000RR. As you can see, love it. And that's it. I think it looks great. And I recommend it to anyone looking for engine protection.